What's up, everybody? I'm Metal Nick,
Jeff Christopher.
and welcome to episode number 79 of Vinyl Bang. This week's topic: side projects. This was an idea that I came up with that I asked Jeff a few weeks ago. Hey, do you have enough records to do an episode about side projects? And what did you say to me, Jeff?
I said I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe I'd have to
No,
go through and look.
no. The real answer was I got enough episodes to do about five. Five. I got
Well,
enough records to do about 5 episodes.
yeah, my initial reaction whenever Nick brought it up was like, I started thinking, I was like, yeah, I think I got a couple. I might be able to do it. And then whenever I actually started going through my Discogs, actually looking, I was like, dude, I could do like 5 episodes,
No, Jeff.
seven, 10 apiece.
Just 7. We we came up with 7 very cool side projects from artists that Jeff and I are fans of, or maybe not so. I don't know. We'll see. I know all these bands I found out because they were members of other bands. But this was a fun topic because this is like Jeff said, he could do 5 episodes. I don't think I could. I have to look a little deeper, but I
Yeah.
chose 5 albums of bands that I thought would be cool to talk about. Some I may have talked about on this show before, some I haven't. Same with Jeff. I know a couple of these we may have mentioned a few times, but fuck it, side projects. Let's do this.
Yep. Yep. Um, yeah, a couple of like my initial list that I sent to Nick, there was a couple on there that was like, I've already talked about these bands. I want to talk about something new on the show, so I'll
Yeah,
switch them out and you know,
well, this should be a banger. Jeff,
yeah.
why don't you start this episode off?
All right, I'm gonna start off with a project that I am really a fan of. Like, I really wish that this band would do more albums, more material. But from what I gather, one of the members is like unable to play this type of style anymore. I think I'm not entirely sure if that's why or not. But the first band I'm going to talk about is Asphalt Graves, the New Primitive. This album is just fucking so good, so good. Uh, Asphalt Graves is, of course, our good friend Jason Netherton from Misery Index and lots of couple other projects. Netherton does the vocals. The drums are provided by Shannon Lucas, who was in the Black Dahlia Murder.
Yes, sir.
I want to say All That Remains, I think. Anyway, there are 2 different pressings for this, and I have both pressings. I have the black, and these are not prepared. There's a black and there's a red pressing. But yeah, as I told Jason on his episode a while back, my ringtone that gets me up in the morning is the track "Megalomaniacs" from this album. That song is the song that wakes me up for work every morning, let me know it's time to go to work. But yeah, Asphalt Graves, the New Primitive is again a phenomenal album by a phenomenal band, and hopefully, like they've never played a show. Like I would travel to see this band, if they were ever to do anything in general. The band also features Adam Ferris. Adam Ferris, who is a friend that I've met from the Baltimore area. Um, yeah, I can't remember what other bands he's been in. I know he's been in something, but I can't remember.
He's actually from Richmond.
Is it Richmond, Virginia? It's out on that end of the country somewhere.
I think there was a period where Shannon Lucas had relocated to Richmond, and him and Jason were friends because previous Black Dahlia Misery Index tours, and I
Right.
think Adam was a friend of all of theirs. So as far as I know, I'm friends with Adam there on the Facebook as well. I've yet to meet. Maybe I met him once. I can't remember, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I've hung out with Adam a couple times. I know.
Okay.
I can't remember how I met him or how we came into contact or whatever. But
Well,
awesome band.
shit, yeah, that's a really cool, very really unique side project that I wish would have played a show or two because that was really awesome stuff. Jason lending his vocals to anything is great, but it was very grindy stuff. From what I remember.
Yes.
No. Awesome. Well, speaking of Mr. Netherton, my first pick is a band that Jason also does vocals on. Or no, he plays bass only in this band. Oh crap. The vocalist of this band is Mr. Evan. I can't. Evan's last name is drawing a blank right now, but he books MDF, and he's also in he has Matic Necrosis. The band I'm talking about is Quills. This is a 7-inch that they put out. Jason Evan plays bass. There's a gentleman by the name of Chris Sarr who played drums for a band called Swarm of the Lotus, who played drums on this. This came out in 2006 on Burn Bridges. That's what it's called. 7-inch silver vinyl. The CD version of this that I have somewhere in my stack of CDs was put out by Gailey Records. This was kind of like a D-beat grind project that Jason and Evan were in, and they played 1 year at Maryland Death Fest, and it was fucking awesome. You can kind of see the there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this was a really unique project that came out. I was really stoked on it. I guess it was just like a one and done thing for these guys. They all had other, obviously Jason had Misery Index and whatnot, but it was a really cool thing. I recommend checking it out if you can find it. I don't know if it's on Spotify or any of these other streaming platforms, but it was a really cool, side project also that Jason Netherton took part of. And Evan, oh man, Evan Harding is his last name. Evan books Maryland Death Fest, and he also is the vocalist of Miasmatic Necrosis, a really fun gore grind band that I'm in love with. Thank you, Evan, for hooking me up with all this stuff that you have over the years for that band, because it's they're a great project, and I want so much more of that stuff. So, but yeah, Quills.
Yeah, that Quills album is available on Bandcamp, because like I didn't even know about it until like it was like 10 minutes before we were doing it, or it might have been during the episode with Jason, where I was like, "What is this band? What is like?" I had to look them up, and they are on Bandcamp, so you can check them out there. So.
Okay, there you go, Bandcamp. Cool. What's next?
Up next for me is an album by a musician that I've talked about at least a few times on the show, and this guy I could actually do an entire episode on. This is one of the episodes that I could have done, is just talking about this guy. Talking about Mike Patton. Mike Patton, ladies and gentlemen, of greatest vocalist in the world ever, in my eyes. This project is, or this album was released in 2010. This is an OG press. It's been released 2 or 3 times in like 2016 and 2019. I think this album was re-released. But anyway, what this is a project where Patton sings in front of a 40 some odd member orchestra. He basically, what this is covers of 1950 cover songs from the 1950s and 1960s Italian pop music. And it is so fun. I mean, the man, listening to Mike Patton sing in Italian is just, God, it just makes me melt. This man's voice is just so incredible. And listening to him sing in Italian with an orchestra, dude, it just God, it's just so good. But yeah, this is and taking this in and out of the sleeve, like it's a pretty good size jacket. But the cover is really cool. Like it's got the Pac-Man thing.
Hell yeah, I love packaging like that. That's great. The die cut.
Yeah, and then awesome. It's a trifold.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's some cool. Can you hold that artwork up? That looks really neat, actually.
Hold on. We get it out from behind it.
Oh yeah, some psychedelic shit there.
Yeah. Awesome project. Short-lived. Like they've done a couple of shows in Italy, I believe. Not very often. They don't perform very often, because I'm sure getting the 40-person orchestra is kind of a chore to get together, or whatever the scenarios are. But yeah, I'm not even going to try to do this on camera. Yeah, this project is awesome. It does not get enough attention. Not enough people talk about whenever you talk about Patton. You talk about, of course, Faith No More, Mr. Bungle, Phantomos, Tomahawk, Dead Cross, whatever project, whatever is your favorite Patton project. But this one definitely does not get enough attention. And I wanted to specifically bring this on the show to talk about my adoration for this man and this band and this project and this album. It's just phenomenal. If you've ever seen the show Happy, that has Jeff Maloney and the little flying animated unicorn thing that's voiced by Patton Oswalt, the very first episode of the show has one of the tracks from this, and I cannot for the life of me remember what song it was, but it was just like the very first thing you hear from this show is a song from this album, and I'm just like, I'm sold already. I fucking don't care if the show's any good or not. They're featuring Mondo Kane, so yeah, very cool project. Does not get enough attention, and it's not talked about enough.
So my question is this that project that he was performing at Rocket Rio when like Stone Sour was performing on the other stage? And I don't know if you've ever seen that clip where like you can hear them like yelling
It
what
might have
Corey
been.
Tip, and he kept like yelling back like because it's like really like slow sympathetic orchestra, and he just starts
Yeah.
screaming, "Shut the fuck up!" and like
Right. I think that is exactly what this was. He was
okay.
performing with this project.
I remember there was an interview that our good buddy Trey Williams did with some reporter when the first time he went to Australia with Dying Fetus, and the guy, or maybe it was in Australia, I don't remember where it was, but the gentleman had brought up his love for Mike Patton, and there was a particular project that both him and Trey were talking about, where like it's Mike Patton like eating food and describing to you what he's eating and like how it tastes and everything. So I was like,
Mhm.
man, this guy will put anything out on record.
And people would just eat it up. Yeah.
Um, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. I'm gonna move on to another project that we've talked about a few times on our show, but this particular one that I thought was just amazing. So the story behind this is the name of the band is Anal Trump, and this is Make 'Em Say Merry Christmas Again. This came out in 2017. The story behind it was the top 50 donors would get this Lath 7-inch cut snowflake vinyl, and I remember our mutual friend Travis Ryan was. I'll go ahead and say it. I believe I paid $80 for this because I didn't think too many people were going to invest in this project. I just was like, whatever. And Travis Ryan hit me up and was just like, I saw the list of who made the cut and who didn't. He goes, unfortunately, you didn't make the cut. And I was like, damn, I put $80 in. That's like lots of people. If I guess more. And then he tells me Grindstopper only put in $40. And I was like, hold up. I put in more than that. And Travis just came back with a bunch of like LOLs. And um, regardless, I remember it was a long fucking wait for this. And it's not like I forgot about it, but just I pre ordered many other things in the time that I had pre ordered this. And then one day this package shows up in my mail and it says, do you ever really get impatient with your computer for going really slow? Take a second to think about what a miracle this technology can be. Think about it. Or it says you'll have a nice time to think about it because it's slow. Man, this damn thing is taking forever in reference to this 7-inch that we pre-ordered and how long it came in. I saved a little like handwritten note. I thought this was from Travis. I laughed so hard. He told me this is all Rob. It came with this hilarious little hand-drawn note of Trump that they did. But this is it. I got number 21 of 50. I know Jeff shared his on a previous episode, I believe.
Yes. Yes.
Um, there it is. I mean, that's just fucking great. Travis is a fucking funny ass dude. They didn't do a good job cleaning the shavings off of this. Travis was fucking. He got me good with that shit. I laughed so hard when he told me that Jeff only paid 40, and I was like, no, I knowingly paid more than that. Um, this was a cool fucking idea. I'm very stoked to own almost everything. I know there's a couple of those box set pressings, like the first 100 tracks or whatever, that I do not own, and I know Jeff got all the different colors of that. That's fucking rad, and I think there's like the 3-inch and a couple test pressings I just don't own. But when this project started, Travis was really cool to us. I think this was before like the group chat started, but he was reaching out to us personally and just being like, "Hey, Jeff realized that he got a white smudge on this blue vinyl, and remember that he picked out
Yeah.
the 15 and sold the rest to all of his close friends." I mean, like, I love it. This was a cool thing to be to know somebody a part of, because these are some, one day this could be worth something to somebody or not. It's something to me because I laugh really hard at this project. I thought Anal Cunt was a fun band. The fact that they did this in the theme of anal cunt about Donald Trump was great. I don't have opinion one way or another about Donald Trump. I'm not a fan, and I also don't dislike him. But I just, it's funny to me. It is old to me how much people talk about him. But when this came out, this was hilarious because a lot of the song titles and lyrics were just things that Trump was saying and doing at the time, and it was just very funny to me. Regardless if you're a fan of the guy or not, you can't help but not get a kick out of some of this shit because it's funny. But Travis gives all the credit to Rob. He says Rob, all Travis did was loan his vocals, but
Mm-hmm.
Travis is a very funny person. I would have assumed that some of this humor came from him as well. But
Yeah, Travis and I have talked a few times about this project because I just like I said, I'm a huge fan. I've got I think pretty well everything that they've ever pressed, test
mhm.
pressings, every variant, every color,
Yeah,
everything, literally fucking everything, except for the first 100 songs test pressed. It's the only thing I'm missing, and I'm working on that.
wow.
Anyway, yeah. This project is amazing. I fucking love the first 100 songs.
Hmm.
Um,
You can't help but laugh if you even if you just read the song titles. You know
mhm.
you know what it's just referencing to. It was a very funny time. I mean, it was shitty times for people. I get it, but these guys made a light out of it in some way, and I could not help but laugh at some of these because side projects. People, come on.
Right.
Um, what you got next, Jeff?
Moving on, the next project that I'm going to talk about, I'm pretty sure I've talked about this before, just because whenever I finally got this on vinyl, I was ecstatic to have this fucking album on vinyl. I was so excited, and I still am. It's been played once. I mean, I know the album front to back. I love the diversity of it. I love that this particular artist incorporated a lot of different musical elements into his very first solo project. I am referring to Big Dumb Face. Duke
Yes.
Lion Fights the Terror.
Uh-huh.
That is the brainchild of Wes Borland of Limp Bizkit. This fucking album, dude, it is just so good. It's one of those. If I can't think of anything to listen to, I'll just throw this on and just enjoy it from beginning to end. I mean, tracks like Burgelgeist, which is pure straight up death metal. Duke Lion, Kali is the Sweet Hog. It just a lot of Ween influence on this album. A lot of Ween influence. Organ Splitter, Mighty Penis Laser. It's just fucking, dude, it's funny. The lyrical content's funny. It's got its brutal death elements to it. It's just
Yeah,
straight up fucking death metal. Um,
the first
but,
track, Burgelgeist. Yeah,
Burgelgeist.
that was very like death metal. I remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely one of my favorite projects, side projects, as far as side projects in general. Um,
Uh-huh.
there was like a 15-year gap between this and the second one, and it was like the second one was just like, dude, why did you try to keep doing this thing? Actually, you should have just left it alone at one. And there's been like a third one, and it's just like, it's okay. The other two are okay, and it might not be fair to the other albums just because I'm comparing it to the genius of this album. But I'm not as big a fan of the other stuff as I am of Duke Lion Fights the fucking Terror, dude. I was so excited whenever I got this on vinyl. I had it on CD back whenever it came out, just because I was a huge fan of Limp Bizkit at the time, and anything that Wes Borland did, I was just like, I have to hear this whenever Wes is doing outside of Limp Bizkit, and it stayed. It has staying power. It's just great album, great project.
You did bring that up on a previous episode, and I remember this because I told a story about my good pal Jimmy Rhodes. Shout out Jimmy Rhodes. He went and saw them when that album came out. He did a tour of it real quick and through the U.S. and he came to the 930 Club in D.C. And I remember Jimmy going, and he came back and he called a guitar pick from him, and it said "Big Dumb Pick" on it. Um, I worked at Tower Records at the time that record came out. I checked it out. I was no longer a Limp Bizkit fan, but I was definitely a Wes Borland fan. He was a very unique individual, and just for a new metal guitarist, he could play some shit. So I
Mhm.
checked it out. I remember maybe listening to it only once, and I couldn't tell you anything past the second or third track. But it was very unique. Everything did not sound the same. He tried, like, I guess now that you're putting it, that it was very heavily Ween influenced. I can see that, but
Mhm.
yeah, I remember it was a very diverse record from when I listened to it. And this was back in maybe 2000, 2001, whenever it came out.
Yeah, somewhere in that area.
Y-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before.
So yeah, shout out to Wes Borland. He's always a very creative gentleman. I don't know if people seen the last couple Limp Bizkit shows with Metallica. He's out there dressed like James Hetfield on stage from like '84. It's awesome.
Mhm.
Um, that guy, I remember the first time I saw Limp Bizkit, he was in full on garter belt on stage, and then yeah, it was always something different with him. He was just a very unique, odd fellow, but a great guitarist, had a lot of charisma. So cool.
Yes, yes, Wes Borland to our show.
There you go.
I'd
All
love to
right.
hear the music made Wes Borland. But anyway.
Oh yeah, no, same. I've tried myself, but I think he's a, I don't know. Maybe he's an introvert. I don't know the guy. Um,
Hmm.
Fred Durst is way more of a I will meet you and talk to you type of person. All right, moving on. My next side project is a side project from the guitarist of one of my favorite bands, the Red Chord, Mr. Gunface, Mike McKenzie, past member of past guest of the show Vinyl Bang. He has a project called Stomach Earth. They came out in the year 2013. So Red Chord at this point was on a little bit of a hiatus. And I know Greg Weeks was putting out quite a few music. He was I don't know, he was sessioning, but uh, Mike put this out. It's kind of like doomy, black metal, sludgy. It's got a little bit of everything in there. But this is a project that he put out. It was like the first thing that he did when Red Chords really kind of took their hiatus. And Guy put this out on Black Market Activities. Shout out to Black Market. They're starting to repress a lot of like merch for their bands. I saw Fountain Hanging and Deadwater Drowning's got like summer teas, so go pick those up. Quick plug for my homie Guy. This is kind of like a bluish marble splatterish. I don't know, not even a splatter, but this was actually a gift for Mr. Kozowick. He sent me a nice little care package because I've always been a huge fan and supporter of anything Red Chord, Black Market. I still have my OG Black Market T-shirt. But I love Gunface. He was always one of my favorite guitarists throughout the 2000s. Like anything he did with the Red Chord, it was heavily riffed, heavy riffs, and they just. I once read an article about how he recorded his stuff. He loved to layer his guitars. He was a great guest on our show. I'm a fan of anything this guy does. I checked this out years ago and just never pulled the trigger on buying it on vinyl, but I did get a cool copy from Mr. Kozowick. Uh, Check this out if you're into the slower. It's got a little bit of black metal, but it's more on the doomy sludge side, if you ask me. Um, I was a big fan of it. Anything, like I said, anything Mike does is great to me. He's a really intricate guitarist, as you saw on our show. He had a really wide range collection of records that he talked about. But yeah, Stomach Earth. I don't think it has. No, this is just a self-titled record. This is 2013 Black Market Activities and a side project of the band The Red Chord. Ooh, caught you mid switch there, didn't I?
You did. You did. Trying to be slick and trying to prepare for my next segment. Yeah, dude. That's Stomach Earth, man. I checked it out after the episode, and it's cool stuff. I mean, I haven't really followed up with it since. But.
He's only got one thing, but yeah, it's yeah. That's like I said. If you're into that type of stuff, because like he put a couple elements of stuff that he really likes, the doom and the black metal stuff. But I think it was more on the doomy sludge side than it was anything else. But
Hmm.
you know, this is a friend of mine. I always support anything those guys do. They've always been really nice to me over the years. So like I love checking out projects of friends, which I think is a theme in this show. A lot of these bands, some of these bands are friends of both Jeff and I, and it's just like, hey, you're doing another project. Let me check it out because I like you. You're a great musician and a good friend, so I want to support your work, your art.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
All right. Next
Absolutely.
project.
Speaking of friends and fellow musicians, or not fellow musicians because I'm not a fucking musician, but this next band is a band out of St. Louis, which is what I consider to be home as far as like the music in the area or whatever. It's like what I claim is my home turf, even though I'm like 2 hours away from St. Louis. This next project, speaking of friends of mine, I've been acquaintances with these guys. Like whenever I see them at shows, I'll talk to them and whatever. But this next project is a side project of Brian Fair from Shadows Fall. Talked about this band before. This band is Hell Night. Hell
Hell
Night
yeah.
from St. Louis, Missouri. Um,
Not to be confused with Hell Yeah.
Not to be no, nowhere near. Don't you ever. That's the last time we make that joke. The this album has two different pressings, and I'll get into the other one in a minute, which you already got a preview of whenever Nick panned back to the both of us. This has two different pressings. The first pressing is a red, looks red on camera, yeah, a red pressing done by our good friends at Planet Score Records.
Shout out Planet Score.
Shout out to fucking Planet Score Records, one of the probably the greatest record store in St. Louis, as far as I'm concerned. As many of them as there are, Planet Score is just, I don't know, feels like home every time I'm in there. But yeah, Hell Night is 16 tracks of pure just goodness, just pure rock, noise almost to an extent. Definitely different from Shadows Fall, which is I know bands shouldn't be, or band members shouldn't be pigeonholed into sounding a certain way or whatever just because of the bands they're affiliated with. But this is definitely a different sounding project than Shadows Fall, but absolutely fucking rad. The other pressing is a purple cover with purple print and purple vinyl to go along with it. But yeah, once again, Planet Score. As far as I know, this is the only album that Planet Score has ever had pressed, and I don't know what the affiliation is with the band and the
Aerosmith
or
Pump.
whatever. But yeah, they have a plethora of Aerosmith Pump cassettes. If you're in the market, hit them up because they'll have like hundreds to choose from, several different conditions, I'm sure. Anyway, yeah.
I had a blast out there with you, but go ahead, talk.
Yeah. Great store, Planet Score. Great band. If you're unfamiliar with Hell Night, I absolutely recommend them. And I know I brought them up before because the first time was whenever like Eric Eister started following us, and Hell Night, the band in general, started following us. The band also consists of Andy White on guitars and Adam Arsenault on drums. Good dudes, good band. They don't play enough. I have not seen them enough, but anyway, we'll cut to the two of us.
No. Real quick story. I love that. When I came out to St. Louis a couple years ago, you took me to Planet Score before we went to the first night of Metallica, I believe. And it was an amazing record store. We went there right as they opened. I found a couple Beastie Boy bootlegs in there, but they were really nice guys. Awesome store. A year later, a friend of mine, Melissa, shout out Melissa, she went out for work. She went out in St. Louis and she had posted pictures of herself in there. I was like, no shit, I've been there. I sent her a picture of my my sticker that I got there on my refrigerator. And I think a couple months ago she went out to Zion's Gate in Seattle, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, you're hitting all of my favorite record stores. Like, I love Zion's Gate because I bought from them so many times on Discogs, but that's a record store that I want to visit at some point. But it's just, all these record stores we're talking about on our show because this is how we get our vinyl, folks.
Record stores and Discogs and.
But I love the places like Planet Score was a great place. So is Zion's Gate. I'd love to visit there someday. Celebrated summer in Baltimore. Shout out to Joint Custody in DC. There's a bunch of them. I know Hit Records.
Hit Records in Columbia.
Get them all out in there right while we can. All right. Side projects. Moving on. I got a band that this is like, the ultimate side project. This is one of the first side projects I ever heard about as a young metalhead. Although this isn't too metal, it's a little bit more like slower, chill. Talking about the band Down from New Orleans. Down consists of Phil Anselmo of Pantera, Jimmy Bower of I Hate God, Pepper Keenan of Corrosion of Conformity, and Kirk Weinstead of Crowbar. On the first record, Todd Strange played bass. He was also in Crowbar. On the second record, Rex Brown of Pantera played bass. This first one came out in 1995. It was an incredible record. Temptations' Wing, Lifer, Hail the Leaf, Swan Song, Bury Me in Smoke, which is the song they always close with. Down is just like a super project that, between, I guess, Far Beyond Driven and The Great Southern Trendkill, Phil was able to release this. And if you look closely in the this Love music video, Phil's wearing a Down t-shirt. This one came out in 2002. I guess Todd Strange had parted ways with Crowbar by then, and Pantera wasn't doing anything, so Rex Brown helped join this, and they did Ozfest. This was a cool one too. This was their second release, Lysogenic Funeral Process, Stained Glass Cross, one of my favorite songs, The Ghost Along the Mississippi. My favorite song on New Orleans is a Dying Whore, but my favorite song on this is the very last song. It's called Landing on the Mountains of Megadito. It's a kind of a chill acoustic-y song. But Down was it wasn't a very metal-y project. It was more of a southern-y, bluesy type thing done by a couple guys from New Orleans. And I guess on this album, Rex Brown, they put out a couple EPs after they released the second one, because Pantera kind of went on a break after a while, and Phil started doing the Super Joint projects for a minute. But I wasn't too big of a fan of the EPs, really, to be honest with you. These two are really the ones that I really enjoyed the most. But yeah, this was when I was a kid and finding out that he had other bands other than Pantera. This was like the first side project. I know there was a few more that I knew about, but this was like the first one that really kind of like, oh shit, like this guy's in this huge successful metal band. Why does he need another band for? Which I'm sure the other two dudes from Pantera were wondering. But Down, I don't know. If you ever a fan of Down?
Here and there. I mean, they never really caught on for me, and it wasn't any fault of their own. I think it was the time. I just wasn't really.
I think a lot of people expected it to sound like Pantera, maybe.
I don't know if that was it, or if I was just so full of Pantera that I just didn't want any more Anselmo, or what it was. I really don't know. I mean, I have nothing against. We saw them at Death Fest, 2012, 13?
Yeah, whatever year Sleep played. Yeah. I do have to point out this was one of my newest purchases this week. I was at a record store the other day and saw this, and I was like, oh, well, this will work out perfectly then. So,
Nice.
boom. Down.
Cool. All right, moving on. The next side project is almost like a super group, kind of. I mean, it's got like two very, very, very well-known musicians, three, kind of, maybe. The other guys, I don't know what else they've done. Kind of feel that about that. Legend of the Seagull Men. Legend of the Seagull Men, which features Brent Hinds of ex Mastodon, no longer a member of Mastodon, and Danny Carey of
yeah. What band is he in?
He plays drum. Hammer. Get the fuck.
Is it Screwdriver?
It's Screwdriver. Yeah, it's coming straight out the tool shed, straight out the box of fucking Tool. Danny Carey from Tool. This project, like, I was really into it whenever it first came out, and then it just kind of sizzled out. Just kind of fizzled out for me. It wasn't really that big of a deal anymore. But I mean, to hear Danny Carey doing something outside of Tool was really, really badass. Brent Hinds, big Mastodon fan back in the early 2000s, especially around the time that this came out, whenever they were still riding off of Leviathan and Remission and, Blood Mountain and all that before they started getting into, like, I think it was Crack the Sky. Was that after 2010?
That came out in 2008.
Yeah. Anyway, regardless, really cool project. Like I said, I'm not as big a fan of it anymore as I used to be, but this is their only album.
Mm-hmm.
Came out in 2010, just a self-titled Legend of the Seagull Men, and this is an OG press. Kind of a cool looking marbled thing, blue and white. Fits the aesthetic of the theme of the album, I guess. They have the Oceanic Seagull, man. I don't fucking know, dude. It's just, wanted to talk about something different on the show and something I don't really know a whole lot about. The band also features David Dreyer on vocals, Jimmy Hayward on guitars and vocals, Pete Griffin, which is the only other member I could really think of that I've heard of before, on bass, Chris DiGiovanni on synths and piano, and Dom Lewis cello, piano, and orchestration. Like I said, it's a cool project. I'm not as big a fan of it anymore as I used to be, but still cool to have. Legend
I
of the Six.
I completely understand. At the time that came out, I think all the members of Mastodon were putting out side projects, except for Bill. So like Arcadia had come out. Um, I know Giraffe Tongue Orchestra had come out,
Mhm.
and then I believe I'm trying to remember. There was one with Troy and Greg Puciato.
Oh, Killer Be Killed.
Yes, thank you. So there was a bunch of they all the guys from Mastodon except for Bill, I think, put out like a project. So um, I I remember people talking a lot about that. There was a lot of interest because Danny Carey's on it, so I think they expected some like super over progressive drum playing. But whatever it turned out to be, people don't talk about it very much anymore. So, um, but yeah, cool that you grabbed it. I'm sure it's important to somebody. I know you value your records and what you buy, but yeah, sometimes not everything is great 10 years later.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody sees this and if they want an OG, and that's an OG press, like I don't know if it's ever been repressed or whatever, but if somebody wants to buy that, like, let's
Holler at your
talk.
boy Jeff.
Let's talk.
Alrighty, I have another side project from a band that I've been listening a lot to lately. This gentleman hails from the band the Dillinger Escape Plan. Talking about the bassist Liam. Oh shit, what is Liam's last name? I just forgot. I was about to say Liam Neeson. Um, Wilson? No.
William Wilson. Yes.
Uh, Liam. It should be on here. Anyways, Liam started this band called John From, which is a bit of like a death metal. It's a very death metal-y band. That's the best way I could describe it. Where were we? Oh, I didn't put down what year this came out. Let's see here. 2017. This came out on Relapse Records. In 2017, there was a lot of side projects Relapse was putting out. The cover kind of has like this little, I don't know if you can see it, glossy thing to it. But this was a really cool project. I saw them in Baltimore. They came out in a bunch of like cloaks. This band features Liam of Dillinger Escape Plan, Derek, who used to be the vocalist of the Faceless, and Eli Litwin. He would play drums for a band called Knife the Glitter. Uh, cool stuff. I believe I also have the clear pressing of this because of Relapse. But yeah, saw this band live. I posted some videos of it. Great project. I chilled with Liam a little bit that night and caught up with him and talked some Dillinger shit. But this came out right in the midst of like, a few months later, Dillinger played their final shows, and then of course reunited a few years later. But this was a really awesome project. I know they just played the Subterranean Fest in Philly last year, and man, I really hope that they come back and do more stuff because this was a cool project. I know Liam right now is doing stuff for like In Flames, and I can't remember the other band he's playing drum. He's out there. Well, Dillinger, I guess. Dillinger did reunite, so they're
Mhm.
playing shows here and there. But this was a cool project that I was able to catch a few times or once back in 2017. I know, like I said, I think maybe 2024 they played the Subterranean Fest out in Philly, and yeah, nice little death metal project for all you death metal heads out there.
For all you people that listen to devil's music, I don't listen to that shit. So
Well, I think a lot of people also followed Liam, so they wanted to check out what he was all about with this other band, and it was
no,
not Dillinger Escape Plan at all, but
absolutely,
it was really fucking awesome stuff. I thought.
and that's why I'm sitting here thinking like I know I've got a clear copy of that, and there's my clears are all right here. But yeah, I know I've got a John From album for sure.
Hmm.
And it's a good one, and again, just because of Liam is why I checked it out. Um, not to go back, like I had to go back and look at the time frame on this because while we were talking about the members of Mastodon doing other projects around a time around the 2010 2011 time frame, uh, I hate to correct my co-host, but this next band features Bill Kelleher. Is
Oh
a grind
yeah,
is
he
a
did do
grindcore project.
he did do a project. That's right, he did. Well,
So
it wasn't as talked about as the other ones, from what I remember. That's why
still
I
isn't.
forgot. That's why
Still isn't.
That's why I forgot so much about it.
Yeah, yeah. This next project is called Primate. And the album is called Drawback a Stump. This band features Kevin Sharp from Brutal Truth. I don't know if you, and that was not intentional, but I was actually listening to End Time earlier. Features Kevin Sharp from Brutal Truth, Bill Kelleher from Mastodon, and I forget who else. I was trying to look up to see what the band members. Mike Brennan, Dave Whitworth, and Shane Huff. Which I'm sorry, guys, if you're watching the show, I'm an ass for not knowing what band you're in. But yeah, yeah. Primate, really cool grindcore project. So knowing that the Bill was doing a grindcore project is pretty cool. This is just a standard black pressing. I don't know how many times this has been pressed or if it's been repressed or whatever, but yeah, dude, this project. Whenever I found out that Bill was in a band with Kevin Sharp from Brutal Truth, like, dude, I have to hear this. Holy shit, that sounds awesome, and it's a cool project. Definitely doesn't get as much attention on my end as what it should, but yeah, this is one of the ones that I switched off for. I don't remember what band. I think I gave up Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett because talk about Lady Gaga enough and do not talk about Primate enough. So switched out Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett for Kevin Sharp and Bill Kelleher in a grindcore band called Primate. Drawback Stump. Cool project. Definitely worth checking out if you're tired of your current grindcore and you want to hear something new. Check this out. This one is not for sale. This one is strictly for me to kiss. So.
Okay. Well, you have fun kissing your vinyl.
I do. I do. I have fun doing lots of stuff with my vinyl when my wife's at work and cameras aren't on. So.
All right, moving on before we get some angry letters here. My next side project band that I'm going to talk about is a band called Impetuous Ritual. They are that's hard to see for sure.
Kind of.
They are a death metal band featuring members of the death metal band Portal, based out of Australia. This is a cool fucking looking pressing. This first one, Bright Upon Martyred Sentence, came out in 2017. This is obviously a red with black splatter on it. Um, Best way to describe this band, it doesn't sound like Portal, but it's in that vein of just like straight, like forward death metal. I saw these guys once. I played at the last Maryland Death Fest that Portal played. They played earlier that day. It features Brad and Ingnes of Portal, the guitarist and bassist. So this is another album of theirs. Yeah, damn. Oh man, I cannot. Anyways, this came out in 2023. This is like a mouthful. I'm sorry. People are probably laughing their ass off because I can't pronounce it. This is just standard gold vinyl. Um, like I said, I never would have known about this band. I believe our buddy James, Mr. Lenzig Jr., he told me that, hey, there's a side project from members of Portal called Impetuous Ritual, and yeah, I have two of their full lengths. I believe Hell's Headbanger put this out, maybe. I don't know. No, Profound Lore. Yeah, there you go. So, um, this is, like I said, straight death metal. I did watch them a couple years ago at Death Fest, the same year, last year that Portal played. I guess it would be like 2015, so it was like 10 years ago. But it was fucking amazing. Very happy to say that I got to witness this band perform a set because there's bands from Australia. They don't come to America every day. But a very interesting side project that I've never talked about on this show. At least I don't think I've ever talked about them. But I've always wanted to because they're a very unique band. They don't dress up like Portal. They actually dress up like barbarians. Like they got like the hairy belts and spikes and everything, and they cover themselves in blood and just like
Hmm.
it's pretty fucking metal.
I want to see. I want to see if I can pronounce the album. Spell it for me.
It's iniquitous barbaric synthesis. Iniquitous. The first word
Iniquitous.
yeah, the first word I kept fumbling. Iniquitous. Iniquitous. How do you say that? Iniquitous
That
barbaric synthesis.
that spells very hard to pronounce.
Yeah,
It's what iniquitous spells. It spells very hard to pronounce.
iniquitous. Yeah, I guess that's what the word is. I'm just very stupid and I can't read. So
I don't know how to pronounce it either. I just wanted to hear what it was.
I think it is iniquitous. Yeah, it's whatever.
And Nick can't pronounce it. And Nick can't pronounce it.
Pretty much. So, but impetuous ritual, impetuous. I can pronounce that and I can spell it. So,
Impetuous. Yeah,
all right.
it's fun.
What's the
All
next
right.
one?
Last one, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is the last side project. This one has a couple really cool pressings. One really cool pressing and one really rare pressing. This band features Buzz and Dale from the Melvins and Terry from the Butcherettes and Omar Rodriguez from
Mars Volta.
the Mars Volta. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was Coheed or Mars. I always get those two bands fucking confused. Crystal Fairy, self-titled project or self-titled album from again Buzz and Dale from Melvins, and you can hear the Melvins influence. Buzz does not do vocals on this project, which is a little hard for me to take in. It's all Terry from the Butcherettes, which is fine. You know, whatever. It's their thing. It's their fucking band. They can do whatever they want. But this album, like here's what the slipcase looks like, and then you take the album out of the slipcase, and this is the actual album cover. I forget what pressing this is. I think they did like 2 or 3 pressings, and I only got the one because I wasn't gonna try to go ape shit with it with this project. But pink pressing, which is a fitting color for a poser to have for this awesome side project. The album itself is really badass.
I was going to ask what kind of music is it?
It's think Melvins meets Mars Volta. Thinks I don't know. It's very rock.
Is this the project you told me about that one member will not rehearse because he doesn't believe in rehearsing?
Yeah, they were going to do a tour back in like 16 or 17. I forget what year this album came out. 2017. 2017, they were going to do a tour, and Mr. Who can remember what his name is anyway, or what band he's from, because they all sound the same. Didn't want to rehearse for the tour, so they canceled the tour because Buzz and Dale are professionals and they are awesome, and this guy apparently just did not care and was just like, I don't care about this band, it's just go play shows. And they were like, well, fuck you, we're going to cancel the tour. So they canceled the tour, and I didn't get to see Christopher because of whatever his name was. So pretty bitter about that because I always wanted to see this project, and they were going to be at Psycho Las Vegas the year that my wife and I are in Vegas, and I really wanted to see this project. But one more pressing from this, I've got a letterpress that was done by Mackie Osborne, wife of Buzz Osborne. A letterpress. I got this from a Melvin show. I think whenever I saw them in Dallas, it's number 33 of 66. And this is very not posery, I don't think. And this one is, I forgot I have a clear pressing of this. So that's pretty cool. Really limited pressing. Letterpress done by Mackie. Pretty cool thing to have. And again, the band itself, the music is awesome. Terry from the Butcherettes has a very distinct voice, has a very distinct vocal approach, and her vocals combined with, the Melvins' musical surroundings, or I guess I would call it. I don't know. Awesome. It's an awesome project. Really is worth checking out for you Melvins fans.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty. My last one here is one of the albums that I have probably the most pressings of. I have 6 copies of this. I'm not going to break every single one out and show you, but in 2017, a band called Iron Reagan, which features members of Municipal Waste and Suppression and other bands, put out this album, Crossover Ministry. I even got that tattooed on the back of my leg. I have so many different, like I said, I have 6 different copies of this. I have the test pressing. I have the clear. I think or at the time, yeah. Baby pink version out of 200. Bone white splatter and merge. Bone white and blue merge with splatter out of 500. Highlighter yellow with splatter out of 200. I don't know what this one is. And the clear out of 100. Yeah. This was a cool project. Tony Foresta and Phil Hall of Municipal Waste started this band with Ryan Parrish, who played drums in Darkest Hour for many years. Now he's in Suppression. At the time, I can't remember who played bass on this album. I guess it was Rob, and the other guitarist was, I can't remember the other guitarist's name. But this was a super. At the time, a lot of the guys from Municipal Waste were doing other stuff. I know Phil's got like 3 or 4 other side projects. But this was one of them. This is one that I'd seen quite often. They toured a lot. Actually, one time I remember going to see Iron Reagan in Baltimore, and then after the show, me, Tony, his girlfriend at the time, Blake, and Lindsay all went to a strip club. It was a fucking phenomenal night. One of those great nights that you never forget. But Iron Reagan, keep showing the test press first. Iron Reagan Crossover Ministry. This came out in 2017 on Relapse Records. I do, like I said, I had to clear in here because it's, Relapse, friends and family. What you want from me, man? Come on. I'm a friend. I'm family. Give me a fuck. What do you want from me? Get out of here.
Wait, get out of here.
But yeah, side projects. I think I probably have maybe like enough to do a half an episode with Jeff because like I think a lot of those there was a couple that I had that I just didn't make the cut for me for many years, so I had to go and sell them off because I was just like, what is this taking up space on my shelf? But there was a period where anytime somebody in a band that I was a big fan of would put out a project and I would check it out because I was really intrigued by it, but sometimes it wasn't a hit. It was sometimes they would be misses. So yeah. But Iron Reagan was one that I care a lot about. I have a lot more than just those. Their debut album, Worse Off Dead. I have more. Oh no, that's not what it's called. I don't remember what the fuck first one was called, but I have a bunch of copies of that. And yeah, just I was a big fan of Iron Reagan. They're great stuff, good songs, trashy stuff. So, Jeff, do you have any new records that you bought since the last time we did an episode alone?
I do. I've got a couple new ones. One new record and one old record that I want to show off just because I got it autographed at the show. So a couple weeks back, it was actually a couple of days after we filmed our episode with Jamerson. We the 2 of us went and saw Tripping Daisy, which was awesome because I never got to see Tripping Daisy back in the 90s, and they did a 26, like they did their first tour in 26 years. But they went out and they played I Am an Elastic Firecracker in its entirety. Whenever we went to the show, both of us took our vinyl to the show and got it autographed. Got everybody in the band to sign the record, even the one guy that wasn't in the band at the time signed it down here in the red, so it wasn't as prevalent that he was on there. During the show, the bassist, Mark, I'm forgetting his name. I know I'm going to fuck it up. But anyway, the bassist was making a point to point out that he was not actually the guy on the cover because he's skinny and bald and whatever. He said, I wear glasses. That guy doesn't wear glasses. And whenever he was signing my record, he said, I'm going to draw glasses on this just to stir up more shit and make people think that I was actually the guy on the album. It's pretty funny. It was one of those you had to have been there moments. But I got the set list from the show, which was awesome because I have every song on the album on a set list from the show. But while we were at the show, they were selling a demo from this album that never made it onto the album. It's an unreleased song that was on a lathe cut, Lathe Cut vinyl. A song called Ham I Am, which was an unreleased track from I'm an Elastic Firecracker. Ham I Am. It was a unreleased Martop House demo from 1997. So that was really fucking cool to have a song that was never on uh, I'm an Elastic Firecracker, but was intended to be. So that was, kind of cool to get that. The next album that I have recently added to my collection is from a grind band from Singapore. My favorite grind band from Singapore. It's a 10-inch from Warmrot. This set was recorded on October 31st, 2024 at TNT Music Center in Singapore. The rest of founded by KK Wong, also known as Ah Boy. TNT is known as TNT is known by many as a cornerstone of Singapore's underground scene since 1989. So they were basically doing a rehearsal of their upcoming tour in the U.S., and they recorded it and released it on a 10-inch vinyl. So, being big supporters of Wormrot, I wanted to get a copy of this. It took forever to get from Earache, which it happens. I'm not bitter. Was a little bitter, but I let it go. But this is just a standard black press thing, which I haven't even opened yet because I haven't had it very long. I haven't had a chance to listen to it. Up next, we were going to do a show. I forget what it was a couple of weeks back, and we didn't get around to it. And we've had guests on since then. But since I didn't have anything to showcase at the time, I stopped in at Hit Records in Columbia to see if I couldn't find anything. And I found a reasonably priced copy of the new Baroness album, Stone, which is fucking, dude, it's such a good album. Like, Baroness has been kind of hit and miss with me, the last couple albums, a couple good songs, a couple bad songs, whatever. This is amazing. Just beginning to end, such a great album. I found a peach colored, I believe. It actually is pink. It's not, the ongoing joke of red vinyl looks pink on Jeff's end. An actual pink vinyl of the new Baroness album, Stone, which is, again, is great album. Great album. Shout out to the guys and girl in Baroness for doing such an amazing album. Awesome to have that. And finally, the last album I'm going to show on this week's episode of Vinyl Bang is Pearl Jam Lightning Bolt. Champ Morgan is to blame for me owning this record because Champ will not shut the fuck up about Pearl Jam. This is one of the albums that I missed out on several years ago whenever I was really into Pearl Jam, and I kind of fell out of them after Vitalogy. I've started going back over the last year or so listening to albums that I have missed out on because of Champ Morgan. And man, this album is so good from beginning to end. It's another one of those like I was just describing with Baroness, I was like, some of the Pearl Jam albums are like, there's some good songs, there's some bad songs, it just, hit and miss or whatever. Banger from beginning to end. So fucking good. This album is absolutely one of my favorite Pearl Jam albums now. And this has like a cool, the same thing that the Crystal Fairy and the Mondo Cane has like a die cut cover. You take the cover out, and it's got different inserts for the cover. And I'm sure you can flip them around and whatever, but awesome album. I found this for like $20, a used copy at Hit Records in Columbia. Used copy for $20. I was like, yeah, I'm absolutely fucking buying this album. So stoked that I found a new Pearl Jam, new to me, Pearl Jam album on vinyl, and it's a solid fucking album. So that's it. That's all I got.
It's all he has, folks.
That's all I got for new stuff.
He knows he's got more. All right. The other day I hit up Record Exchange in Frederick, Maryland, and came across an OG pressing of the first Wasp album. I was pretty stoked to get that. I showed recently I had a colored vinyl of The Last Command, which is their second record. So I'm happy to have their first two albums. I think they're their best ones in my opinion. Wasp, fucking awesome band. Shout out Blackie Lawless. What a great fucking vocalist, songwriter. Dude had a fucking look and a vibe that was able to keep him crossed over between the the thrash bands, and I guess a little bit of the hair bands as well. But oh come on, you can't fucking. This thing's being all difficult fitting back into the sleeve.
It's being on camera, man. That's what makes it so difficult. Is like if we didn't have the cameras rolling, it'd go right in there. But because it's like you're being filmed, it makes you look like an ass.
Yeah, I guess so. All
Happens all
right,
the time.
next thing I got, I bought the soundtrack to my all-time favorite video game, Mega Man 2, and it's got Mega Man 3. On this side, it's got Metal Man, which I have a tattoo of Metal Man and Mega Man on my arm up here. But and the other one's got Gemini Man from Mega Man 3. This is 8-bit soundtrack. This isn't like some orchestra playing these songs. This is literally the music from the actual video game. So, or 16-bit, I should say. If you played Nintendo back in the day, all those games were 16-bit. On March 11th, pre-orders went up for 311's most famous album, the self-titled album. They repressed it. It's the 30th anniversary. It finally came in the mail the other day. I got this cool,
Nice.
I don't know, smoky whatever version. They had two of them. This one I thought looked the mock of this one I thought looked a little cool. Yeah, they altered the cover a little. It's embossed in there the logo, but the back is still the same. I think.
Yeah, it's still the same.
Yeah, same shit from back in the day. Yeah, 311. All right. Shout out to James Watson. He told me that this some punk label was selling copies of these. Regurgitates Carnivorous Erection. This is a repress because I guess Relapse Records never pressed this on vinyl, but FOAD Records out of Spain, I believe, they repressed this, and they also repressed their other two full lengths, which are hopefully shipping to me soon. James got his already. I reached out to the gentleman. He said he was at Obscene Extreme this week, and yeah, he would ship them to me whenever he gets back. Another album I bought. This is something I bought off Discogs. Skid Row, Slave to the Grind. This is their second album. Not too many ballads on this one, but this is a really cool one. This is a red pressing. I think it was a Record Store Day release. I just could not savor the stickers. Songs like Monkey Business, Slave to the Grind, Quicksand Jesus. This, in my opinion, was their best album. I know a lot of people like the first one because it had like 18 in Life and I Remember You, but this is a way more metal album than that one.
Yeah.
Next thing I recently showed off that I got a copy of my first copy ever of Pork Soda. This website that I bought, I guess it was Alternative Press. They also repressed on color vinyl Sailing the Sea of Cheese, which is my personal favorite Primus album. And look at how cool this fucking thing looks, man.
Yeah, that's the melted cheese pressing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There's another one I saw. It's like half yellow and half clear, I guess. And then there's also they repressed one you and I were just talking about the other day, Tales from the Punch Bowl, but it's on standard black vinyl, so I'll wait to that. Oh, that's all I got. I had another thing back there, but it's this old beat up COC that I talked about in the last episode that I can't decide what I'm going to do with. It's just sitting on a pile on the ground of my new records that I save for whenever we do this segment of the show. But that's it. That was a fun episode. A little bit over an hour there, but we had some cool projects that we have never talked about before, and we have talked about before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good episode. As far as I was thinking about this while you were talking about the Regurgitate, the FOAD, mm-hmm. What it stands for First Over a Dinosaur.
Does it really?
That's what FOAD stands for, First Over a Dinosaur.
That's really what that label stands for?
No. Fuck off and die. Sure.
Fuck off and die, probably. Yeah. I don't know. I sell that shit and I don't care what it stands for. You're selling Regurgitate, I'll buy
it. I was thinking it as you said, because you were like FOAD Records. I'm like, First Over a Dinosaur. Yeah. That's the first thing I thought of. Anyway.
Well, yeah. That is our show this week. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Good choices, Nick. Good job, Nick. A nice shirt. fucking love Lucid Interval, and that's a new one. That's nice.
Yeah, the OG one that I have, like the logo is like the baby's this
small.
small, and on the back it says Lucid Interval Relapse Records.
Mhm.
I guess a couple years ago they repressed a lot of their like album art. Like I have like I re-got Remission and Leviathan because like the artwork is much bigger.
Bigger.
So I was looking. They did Anomalies as well, but like I was like, I love this shirt. I love this album. It's one of my favorite albums, as you could tell from our top albums episode. So I rebought this shirt. I don't give a fuck. You know how many different versions of "Wish You Were Here" by Pink Floyd I have on T-shirt? Come on.
Speaking of Pink Floyd, dude, whenever you first went to full screen, like I saw the blinking light behind you, and at first I thought you had it set on the like 80s setting, like for the film, where it had like the little glitches in the film. But it was like, dude, that's your fucking pulse. That's the light from Pulse. Like back, I was like, why does he look so grainy? And I was like, oh, it's Pulse.
I left it up here. Yeah.
Boy.
Part of the background.
Anyway.
Well, thank you, everybody. We will see you all next week.
All right. See you guys.
Final thing,